A local man says ride-sharing services break the law on a regular basis, and he's reaching out to Congress to get something done about it.
Yeah, he says he's been nearly killed by drivers who sped off as he tried to enter their vehicles with his seeing eye dog. Rob Masson has this special report, Riding Blind.
See, you would think that they would have a better sidewalk over here, but that's a whole nother separate issue.
He would like to be as mobile as any of us.
She's trained to keep me on the left side.
To get to the store, the doctor, or anywhere, Demetrius Kouniaris of Metairie needs his seeing eye dog, Marjorie, to get him there. But all too often, this is his reality.
I can't just take that.
Why?
Kouniaris says frequently he's denied a ride. In fact, 3 weeks ago, an Uber driver in Connecticut did just that.
You know it's in your contract that you have to transport riders with service animals, right?
I'm sorry, I can take the dog.
Why can't you take the dog?
I can take it.
Why?
That driver just violated the Americans with Disabilities Act, and Kouniaris says he's got plenty of company.
You know, I don't know how a human can sleep at night knowing that they did that.
Kouniaris says one driver in Austin recently drove off as Kouniaris insisted he comply with the law.
He drove off also holding on to the handle. And even up to this day, Rob, it's not just a refusal, but it's the fact that we almost got injured.
The rideshare drivers are individual contractors, and Kouniaris says about a dozen times in the past year they denied him and Marjorie service. He documented each instance. In some cases, Kouniaris says the company fired the rideshare driver, but other times the company claims to have re-educated the driver.
It's just the inconsistency. It's really inconsistent, and I'm just sick of it.
In 2014, Uber paid out a $225,000 legal judgment to the National Federation for the Blind after several of its drivers refused to give rides to seeing eye dogs. Uber also promised to start following the law, but 6 years later, Demetrius Kouniaris says problems persist.
This is, it's very serious.
Kouniaris says the problems are just as common with taxi or Lyft drivers. He says a Lyft driver denied him a ride from Kenner just last month.
She claimed allergies, which, again, the allergies does not fall, because the ADA clearly says that allergies and fear, are not reasons to deny.
Lyft wouldn't speak to individual cases, but gave us a statement saying any form of discrimination is simply unacceptable. We have a strict service animal policy that requires all drivers to accommodate passengers traveling with service animals, and failure to abide by that policy can result in removal from the Lyft community. We've been in touch with the passenger to offer our support. But Kouniaris wants more, including federal enforcement.
Department of Justice, they need to get on with this.
Last month, he and others visually impaired went to Congress seeking help.
I'd like to think that the market and compassion can address this, and we are looking into it.
He met several congressmen, including Senator Bill Cassidy. Cassidy supports a move by ride-sharing services to make vehicles available with wipeable seats for the visually impaired and their dogs. Drivers with fabric seats often object to pets in their vehicles.
My office will be contacting the Ubers and the Lyfts of the world to see if they can make that a special, one of the things that when you call, that you can call specifically for one of those vehicles.
But Kouniaris wonders if that's good enough, since he says the law requires all ride-sharing drivers to take passengers with seeing eye dogs.
If you really can't deal with dogs, because of whatever reason, you don't need to be driving, because there's consequences.
Kouniaris says all too often consequences are not being enforced against drivers disregarding the law.
You're going to lose your job over this. I got it on video, too.
Rob Masson, Fox 8 Local First.
Uber recently selected New Orleans for a ride-sharing service called Uber Pet, which is designed for riders with non-service animals. Uber says the new service does not replace its service animal policy, which requires drivers to take seeing eye dogs.